Hello everyone, this is Dan from Flexibility Research and welcome to this research review. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how pre-stretching the tensor fasciae lata, or TFL, increases activity of the Vastus medialis, or VMO muscle, during squatting. But first, let's just quickly review some basic functional anatomy. The TFL is a hip flexor muscle that originates at the ASIS and inserts onto the tibia via the iliotibial band, or ITB. The TFL is also a hip internal rotator when the knee is in flexion. It also assists with hip abduction. The VMO originates at the anteromedial part of the intertrochanteric line, and its fibers converge onto the medial part of the quadriceps tendon. It works with the other muscles within the quadriceps group to extend the knee. Functionally, it also stabilizes the patella. The prevention of knee pain is a vivid area of rehabilitation research. One of the leading causes of knee pathology is believed to be maltracking of the patella, which occurs when the knee bone does not move according to the alignment we would expect from a normal healthy knee joint. Here you can see a diagram showing the distribution of compressive forces on the kneecap, with normal patella tracking on the left, and on the right, the forces are all focused on one area because of abnormal patella tracking. One of the causes of this abnormal tracking that has been proposed is weak activity of the VMO compared to the VL, or vastus lateralis, which is positioned on the outside or lateral portion of the anterior thigh. Closed kinetic chain exercises like the squat are a common prescription for knee pathologies, and they supposedly promote functional stability. The squat has also been utilized in previous studies to examine the VMO and VL relationship, and a theory that has been put forward is that tightness in the TFL can contribute to lateral displacement of the patella, as we saw in the image on the previous slide. The TFL merges with the IT band, and if the TFL is tight, that can pull on the IT band, and that in turn may pull on the knee. Static passive stretching has demonstrated incredible consistency across the scientific literature at decreasing perceived tightness and increasing tissue extensibility, and some authors, such as American and Amos 2000, have suggested that stretching the TFL can improve patellofemoral kinematics. In order to test this theory, a team of researchers from Gunma University in Japan set out to investigate the influence on muscle activity of the VMO and VL during squatting following static passive stretching of the TFL. The research team selected 19 healthy adult men with an average age of 24, height of 171 centimeters, and weight of 65 kilograms. Each participant performed a 60-second static passive stretch of the TFL for 5 sets, resting 10 seconds between each set. They stretched the left side using the right side as a control. Prior to the stretching sets, and also 10 seconds after the final set of stretches, each participant performed 3 repetitions of a bodyweight squat, consisting of a 3-second descent, a 5-second isometric hold at the bottom position, and a 3-second ascent. They maintained a 5-second pause at the bottom position so that the research staff could check to make sure the squat was performed to a consistent angle. Activity of the rectus femoris, VMO and VL was measured using EMG, the data of which were full wave rectified, and statistical analysis was performed in SPSS, with values of the maximum voluntary contraction percentage of both muscles before and after static passive stretching compared via t-test, with values of p less than 0.05 being considered significant. From their investigation, the research team saw a clear correlation between stretching of the TFL and the onset timing of the VMO and VL, meaning that the contraction of the VMO was initiated much sooner after the initiation of the VL contraction compared to before the stretching. Furthermore, VMO activity during squatting increased after static passive stretching compared to before stretching. When the VMO can contract sooner and with greater force, it limits the amount of lateral displacement of the patella, and accelerating the relative onset of VMO contraction by stretching the TFL prior to squatting may contribute to the prevention of knee pathologies caused by patellar maltracking. The most likely explanation for these observations is that the VL was partially subjected to the tensile force of static passive stretching due to its partial adhesion to the TFL via the iliotibial band, thereby suppressing motor unit activation to some degree. Consequently, the outward traction force on the patella was reduced, allowing the VMO to generate greater inward traction force and counteract the forces that would typically affect the tracking of the patella. Unfortunately, patellar stability was not evaluated using quantitative measurement, which is something future studies should consider doing using three-dimensional motion analysis of the lower extremities during squatting. In terms of practical utility, performing static passive stretches of the TFL may help to relieve knee pain caused by patellar maltracking and may also serve some prophylactic function in people with asymptomatic knees, and it does not take up very much time at all. Here are the details of the research article which provided the data in this review. If you like this video and want to see more, please let me know in the comments below. Also be sure to share with people who you think might like to watch it. If you want to know more about the science of flexibility training and you're tired of listening to people on social media bash it because they don't know much about it, then consider registering for the next intake of the Master Flexibility Trainer course starting in January. If you want to know more about it, send me a private message or email me at dan@flexibilityresearch.com. I'm also launching a webinar on December 5th, which will provide you with an overview of the biomechanical model of flexibility, which is the framework I've developed over the last 22 years of my professional career, which I've spent researching and teaching this subject all over the world. This was the very first framework to examine flexibility through the lens of physics, and it forms the backbone of the Master Flexibility Trainer course. Other systems have tried to copy this methodology. Indeed, it's not uncommon for me to see old lecture material and blog and forum posts being regurgitated by other people without due credit, and so that's why I went ahead and registered it as an official trademark. If you want to learn about this stuff from someone who has been teaching it since before other people in the industry even went to college, then get in touch. You can send me a DM or check out the link in my bio to find out more. If you take this webinar and you decide you want to join the January intake of the Master Flexibility Trainer course, then you can redeem the admission fee as a discount against the cost of the full course. Again, if you want to know more, get in touch. That's it from me. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.